Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 8 of our commentary for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Last time we carved our way through Dragon Roost Cavern and picked up the Wind's Requiem from the god of wind Zephos or whatever. But we can't seem to climb into the King of Red Lions for some reason.
The god of wind Xenu.
Yeah, that. Anyway, in order to climb into the King of Red Lions, this is Nintendo just being overbearing Nintendo. But you have to use the Wind's Requiem to point the wind in the correct direction in order to be able to leave the island. So we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to acquiesce to their request.
That little animation where he looks where the wind is going is probably one of my favorite little animations in this game.
Oh yeah, the animations on like him conducting the wind are really good too. You see though, once we get into the boat, it's the Wild West.
You're just being difficult.
It's like, nah man, I ain't going south.
Well, what's the next destination? I forget.
I'm going to the next west,
plot,
the land of the free.
The next plot-related destination is Dragon Roost Island, Forest Haven to the south. But there's a lot to do on Windfall Island, so I'm going to go back and do some of that, including one of the very helpful features that was added in the Wind Waker HD. We're going to be picking that up.
The tingle bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
but first we got to talk to this helpful fish.
Coming this summer by Lionsgate Entertainment, a talking fish?
Well, they already made that in the 60s with what's
the cat
Don
in the
Knotts. No, the Incredible Mr. Limpet. I watched that movie with my family on a camping trip one time.
You know what?
End of story.
Join us next episode when we
talk about more old movies. Yeah.
Those little flippers look like hands.
We're gonna wrong warp to Ganon in the next episode.
I can't take this anymore. This is just so monotonous. Anyway, I think I was thinking about this while I was playing, but like,
couldn't tell.
Apart from the DS games, it's kind of atypical for a Zelda game to like leave like curating your map like solely to the player. Like if you don't feed the fish for every island, like that island does not appear on your map. So it's not like a whole lot of work, but you are ultimately responsible for like making sure you know your way around. Mm-hmm. And again, like the treasure charts, a more cynical person might see it as like an unnecessary middle step, but I don't know, it's just another one of those things that kind of pulls me into the world of this game. Like you're making your own sea chart to get around this big uncharted ocean. It's cool.
That's one thing, not to spoil anything, but Kingdom Hearts 3 also makes you curate your map.
Oh, yeah?
Simply by providing the map next to each of the first save points in each world.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
It is optional.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I just noticed while I was watching, I was looking at the diver guys, and at first I thought, oh, they're wearing like tank tops that are just like textured on them or whatever. And then I looked closer and I realized, wait, those aren't white tank tops, those are tan lines.
Those are just a farmer's tan. They're just making their way out on the Great Sea under the bloom raining down.
Oh, by the way, this is one of my favorite islands in the game.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, we can only explore about half of it with our current item loadout, but
yeah.
I wanted to wait to come here until the return trip because the grappling hook does open it up a tiny bit more. But until we get bombs, like, we're basically only going to have access to like half of this cavern. Yes. And I think there's like a battle dungeon you can unlock later if you come back with the hook shot on one of the little like toes of the Paw Print Island.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did we talk to the fish before coming? I know we talked to the dragon roost fish.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think we
don't
talked
think
to the
so.
fish for this island until after. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm paying attention to what I'm watching.
Hey, you're the one who played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is
I've
there
always
like a
liked
heart
this
piece?
island because it always felt like a little secret hideout type place when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, the entrance to that big dome in the middle is kind of obscure. Like,
Yeah, it's hidden in the
you really have
grass.
to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember thinking not being able to figure out how to get in here until I had to come back and inspect give the place a good comb a few times when I was a kid before I finally found the hole, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
what if I'm the only person that knows this?
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's a. I think Dan, you and I in the past have talked about like areas like the little
Little milk
hideaway.
shed in
Yeah, the milk
Ranch.
shed in Ocarina of Time. Yeah, like that's one of my favorite places in Zelda because it just feels like
Yeah.
it's like your little kid's clubhouse. You know,
Yeah.
it's out of the way.
Yeah,
So
something
there's
I was...
just due to
Finish
the yeah, sorry, due to the nature of the Wind Waker's overworld, like there's a lot of areas like that in this game that are just kind of small, sequestered, like forgotten caverns like this, and I just think that's really cool to explore.
Yeah, I was as a kid really liked finding spots in games that had like an entrance that you uncovered by like pushing something out of the way or something, and then you could like go in and recover the entrance with you inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I don't know, just
Yeah.
having like a secret spot.
Mm-hmm. I claim this shed in the name of Link.
Which is why another reason why when I was a kid I always liked the idea of just having like versions of single player games that were multiplayer and having, I guess, like hide and seek game modes.
Oh yeah,
I don't know, that always seemed like a fun idea to me when I was a kid.
sounds like fun.
The milk shed is where Malin and Link go to make out.
Hey,
Yeah,
there are hay piles in there.
Yeah,
in the adult timeline, of course.
Yeah.
of course.
Link.
It-
Link wasn't quite that in tune with himself during the child timeline.
In my headcanon, those two get together after the events of
Yeah.
Okay or Not.
Malin has a family business. Like, it would
man.
be a good,
And he's
it'd
like,
be to
Twilight
Link's
Prin-
benefit.
Twilight Princess canonically comes after, I mean, most of the games canonically come after Ocarina of Time, but I think Twilight Princess directly comes after Ocarina of Time canonically in the timeline that it's in. And that Link grows up on a ranch.
Well, no,
Since-
Twilight Princess comes after Majora, with the implication
Oh,
being
yeah.
that Link, how do I put this?
he got
You know
lost.
what?
Dies in Majora's Mask.
He became a skeleton.
Yeah. I forgot what my headcanon was for that. It was something like the Link from Ocarina of Time is... It was like... So Link goes off to do the Majora's Mask stuff, and I just remember there was something about like Link gets together with Malin, they have a kid, and that Link has to go off and do like hero shit and doesn't come back, and he regrets not being able to pass on his like skills and stuff to his son. So the Link in Twilight Princess just grows up on a ranch, doesn't learn combat or anything, and the Link from Ocarina of Time comes back as the hero skeleton or whatever to teach his son how to be a swordsman. Because
Join
he
us next
wishes
time
that
for
he could
more
do
Dan
that.
fiction.
Yeah, Dan fiction.
So wait,
But yeah. I don't at all think that would be like... I do not at all think that that's what the writers would have ever had in mind, but it just was that cut.
Let's try this again.
But yeah, I'm not deluded enough to think that was actually what the writers intended, but I thought that it was a neat idea that, would be feasible given the details that are canonically true.
Yeah. So here we have the Windfall Island auction. Not my favorite minigame in the Wind Waker, because basically what it boils down to is you just waiting for a few minutes while these people bid, and then, like, sniping them at the last second.
Well, I think that's the trick.
I think
works every time.
I think the most efficient way to do this is to just repeatedly do bid just high enough to stun them so that they can't keep racking up the price.
Yeah.
So I think, if I remember correctly, the number that you need to do to stun them is 10% of what the current bid is.
Oh, so it's one of those esoteric, like, Nintendo math equations.
Something like that.
They handed this minigame off to Game Freak and were like, just make it as, like, convoluted as possible.
So one way or another, the price will be kind of in a certain range, no matter which trick you use.
Yeah, well, I think it's like it might seem like bidding more is not a good idea initially, but when you think about it, it's like you bid 10 rupees or whatever for maybe like 10 or 15 seconds of everyone not doing this right here. Of just constantly raising it by 4 or 5 rupees every second.
Yeah, that really slows down, like, the passage of time during this auction. So much so that, like, I did do this repeatedly to get the stuff I wanted, but this is the only time you'll actually see the auction taking place, because
it's miserable.
Yeah, except when it shows you Link's face, like, wait, no. He didn't do it there. There was an earlier shot where, like, the person next to him bid something, and he just had this, like, murderous glare on his face. There, he was doing something there, like, kind of a grimace. God, I love Link's face in this game. So much fun.
The people have really good faces, too. Like, I'm enjoying the townsfolk.
Yeah, very distinct characters in the Wind Waker. Like
277.
Nope. Nope.
There's no way.
I think I overplayed my hand a little bit here, but
a little bit.
Just playing it safe.
You were just planning on bidding 200 rupees from the start. You were just giving all of them false hope.
And then I realized, oh yeah, that's half of my current funds.
Yep. I still need to buy the more important thing.
Yeah. Well, and spoiler alert, between the treasure chart and the swift sale, I also go for a piece of heart and spend, like, spend a few side quests, like, trying to rack up enough rupees to bid again.
It's a good thing rupees are so plentiful in this game.
Yeah, they
in every
really
Zelda
are.
game, except for Breath of the Wild.
Well, what's funny is,
and
like,
Skyward Sword to an extent.
I kept doing, like, the wrong stuff to get rupees during this part. And then, like, after I decided to leave Windfall, I instantly got, like, 400 rupees in, like, the span of a minute. It's like, what? Where were they? Actually, no, not even that. I filled my wallet, like, over capacity.
What does a piece of heart do for normal townsfolk?
Nothing, and they know it. That's why it goes back on the auction. When the person's just like, you know what, I don't know what I would do with this, so here you go.
Instantly return it.
But he's just an innocent little boy.
Oh yeah, look at that innocence.
Look at his face!
Just bursting at the seams.
Tonight's fabulous piece of heart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice! Heart container.
It occurred to me as I was doing this, like, if I had done a couple of these side quests during the initial visit to Windfall Island, maybe I wouldn't have gotten killed by that moblin in Dragon Roost Cavern.
Would have had a little wiggle room.
Yeah, one more heart would have been nice. On that note, I will it will forever be embarrassing that I died where I did, but like I do appreciate the addition of hero mode in Wind Waker HD because it kind of adjusts the difficulty to like kind of where I feel like it should be, where like this for example. In a normal playthrough of Wind Waker, you're never going to buy potions.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no reason that would ever benefit you.
Unless
but if you're like me...
that bad.
Yeah, if you're like me...
if you're that bad, you're probably not realizing that potions are a thing you should buy anyway.
Yeah, or if the fairy you try to catch in your bottle just completely stands you up, then, you know...
I'm still
red
mad about
potion
that.
here and there might come in handy.
So this guy exchanges chew jellies for free potions.
Yeah, you can either bring him chew jelly and have him make it for you for free, or you can just buy it from him. But you need a bottle to do that. So there'll be other characters in the game who can brew you various elixirs or potions. But I guess we'll meet them when we get to them. So.
It's only... I think it's only red, blue, and green potions and grandma's soup in this game, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, you can go get her free soup anytime, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Well, in exchange for a fairy.
Yeah, you need a bottle first.
Does she kill the fairy?
She kills the fairy.
Well, not in exchange. Not every time do you need to exchange the fairy, but
she bakes the fairy into the soup. Yeah, I said it. She bakes the soup.
Yeah, there's a constellation up there.
Yeah.
If this were,
I think in the HD version, they added the red star from Majora's Mask for some reason.
Huh. And
this was before the 3DS version was announced, and I think I remember reading somewhere that people took that as a hint that like Majora 3D was coming eventually. Because people had been clamoring for that for years at that point.
Yeah.
It's just Maz. Oh, I love this guy.
Yeah, Tot.
Tot.
Zelda Elvis. Zelvis.
I'm glad you made that joke, because I was going to if you didn't.
You're welcome.
A 1, a 2.
Magic
So I love how this obviously insane person is the one who gives you like your critical like progression thing. Well, okay, I guess it's not a critical progression item, but you know, it's the ability to turn day into night. Like, you know, what business does this guy? I don't know. I just love the weirdness of Zelda sometimes. Boo!
Ow! You know who taught this
I love
guy?
how he does the little nod after.
Tot?
I know who taught this guy to dance.
Shut up.
You mentioned the nod, Dad, or Dan.
Dad.
Dad. It's the timing on the nod that makes it funny. Like just that long pause. Oh yeah, beautiful.
It was,
sorry, Dad.
We're expanding the lore of GearCheckGames.
The one who taught him to dance like that was from the critically acclaimed Don Bluth movie where Chanticleer was playing the part of Elvis.
Oh my god.
Everyone's favorite movie, Rockadoodle.
More Rockadoodle references next time. I love how I keep promising these things that we don't actually talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tune in anyway.